Welcome everyone to this presentation on DCU's Professional Master of Education in Post-Primary Teaching. My name is Gareth Burns and I'm the Programme Chair of this full-time 2-year Master's programme that leads to professional accreditation as a post-primary teacher. In this short presentation, I am going to talk about why it's such an exciting and opportune time to consider post-primary teaching as a possible career. I'll then discuss why you should consider applying for the DCU PME programme and illuminate its various innovations and strengths. The presentation will then provide you with an overview of the PME programme, including a focus on one of its central threads, its flexible year-long professional placement experience. And finally, I will share important information on entry requirements, the application process, and details of where you can access further information on the programme. So why choose post-primary teaching and why now? Well, in the first instance, we are going through one of the most transformative and exciting periods in post-primary curriculum development. And so many changes are currently occurring and have occurred in recent years. For example, the current senior cycle now is under redevelopment, and this process will continue over the coming years. In addition, new senior cycle subjects are coming on stream and offering a greater diversity of educational experiences for students. The new junior cycle is now firmly established and features revised subjects and short courses, a focus on key skills, and new approaches to assessment and reporting. From an employment perspective, there are also significant opportunities at the moment, with a large number of new post-primary schools having opened across the country in recent years, and many others building new extensions, which is great news for new entrants to the profession. So why the DCU PME programme? Well, firstly, as a centre of expertise and excellence in teacher education and education more generally, the DCU Institute of Education hosts a range of research centres in key areas of priority and has an ambitious and growing programme of research, with internationally recognised experts in areas such as educational policy, inclusion, curriculum and pedagogy, assessment, literacy, evaluation, and teacher education, to name but a few. The Institute provides a dynamic learning and working environment for students. In relation to the PME, it adopts a flexible delivery model. While lectures are predominantly on campus, there are also some weeks which occur online, and reading weeks are aligned with the post-primary school calendar. It is also a nationwide programme, and placements are facilitated across the country. The placement structure allows students to complete their placements close to their home and provide students with experience of being in a school and immersed in the life of a school for the whole school year. The PME also has a diverse range of curriculum subject specialisms that students can engage with and modules are delivered through a range of mediums, including lectures, small group seminars, workshops, and reflective tutorials, while students also experience a range of diverse and authentic assessments, individual assignments, group assignments and projects, e-portfolios, podcasts, etc. Critically, student gets hands-on experience and benefit from the PME's strong teaching and research focus, creating a vibrant community of inquiry. So, on to the PME programme itself. So what is it? Well, it's a recognised qualification for teaching at post-primary level. It's a full-time programme of study. Students are on placement throughout the school year and from Monday to Friday. So it's a full-time placement experience. And then lectures, tutorials, and seminars all happen on campus every Tuesday and Wednesday evening of the semester from 4 to 8 p.m., as you'll see highlighted on screen. We also invest heavily in induction at the start of the program, and which occurs in late August and before the semester starts. Induction supports students in the early phase of the program, and in particular in their early stages and settling into the professional placement space. As the graphic illustrates, the program is made up of a number of different components. So there are modules on foundation studies, which include looking at schooling and society, philosophy of education, psychology of teaching and learning, and the history of education. There are professional studies, so modules looking at how to be a teacher for all and human diversity, looking at educational relationships and learning, looking at fostering creativity and innovation, teaching in online and blended learning environments, and other seminars that focus on other aspects of professional development. Subject specialisms relate to the curriculum subjects that students have met the Teaching Council requirements for, and support our students to teach them in an inclusive, innovative, creative, and engaging manner. Supporting students to become researchers of their own practice is also a core element of the PME at DCU. And students in second year complete a self-study research project related to an aspect of teaching that they're particularly interested in and would like to explore more deeply. Finally, the PME year-long full-time school-based professional placement forms a central pillar of both years of the programme, and I'll discuss it in more detail later on in the presentation. So, in terms of the slide on screen, it gives you a sense of the modules that students take across the 2 years of the programme. The modules in black are those that occur in semester 1 of each year of the programme, and those in red occur in semester 2, and the modules in green run throughout year 2 of the programme. So one of the modules that's a year-long module is the subject specialism module. And we have a diverse range of offerings in this regard, 13 in fact at the moment. In relation to this, PME students choose one subject specialism in year 1 and complete a different subject specialism module in year 2. For students with 2 subjects, in which they've met the Teaching Council curricular subject requirements for, students choose to complete a subject specialism module in one of those subjects in year 1 and the other in year 2. For students who don't have a second subject, then students would pick their subject that they've met the requirements for in year 1, for example, and then would choose another module in year 2. And many students in this situation choose specialisms such as SPHE or citizen education specialisms. And in light of the fact that there are no curricular subject registration requirements for either SPHE or junior cycle CSPE currently. So now moving on to have a look at the school-based professional placement. So in terms of its structure, as I've already said, it's year-long, it's full-time, and that's something that's hugely popular with our students and in which we get a lot of positive feedback on. Because what it does is it allows students to really settle into their school, to become very much part of the school, of the staff, of the school community. Critically, it allows students to work allows student teachers to work with students throughout the school year, and to really see the impact of their work in that regard. They get to see what the rhythm of a school year is like and what happens in the life of a school at different times of the year, which is of huge benefit to their professional development and when they move into teaching full-time when they're qualified. Students source and experience placement in a different school each year and as per Teaching Council requirements. The placement begins with a 3-week initial observation period at the start of the school year. And the purpose of it is to provide opportunities for students to really settle into their school environment and critically to learn from and learn with, so working collaboratively with other experienced educators during this 3-week period. Students are required also to complete at least 12 documented classroom observations during this period in which they reflect on the classes they are observing of experienced educators teaching. These 12 observations also count towards the total 24 documented observation requirements. Moving on then to direct teaching hours. So during each placement, students are required to teach subjects within their selected specialist subject areas, i.e. the subjects that they'll be qualified to teach at the end of the program. Students may decide to teach one or indeed both of their subjects in a given year where appropriate. Students are required to teach 4 hours of direct teaching each week of the school year and a minimum of 110 hours over the course of the whole school year. Placement-related activities are another key component of the placement experience, and students are required to engage in a variety of school-based activities outside of their timetabled classes. So these activities might include team teaching with an experienced colleague or experienced teacher, extracurricular activities, engaging department planning, developing resources, working with parents and meeting with parents, various forms of student support, etc. And these placement-related activities are really critical in creating opportunities for collaborative work with experienced staff and greater engagement with the life of the school. So moving on then to some of the entry requirements for the PME program. So in terms of the Teaching Council requirements and when applying for the program, applicants need to fill out what's called a subject declaration form. And these are available on the Teaching Council of Ireland website, and there's also a link to them on the DCU program pages and in the application section more specifically. So completing a subject declaration form, or it could be multiple subject declaration forms, allow applicants to match the credits in their degree subject or subjects against the Teaching Council requirements for that curricular subject. Applicants must meet the Teaching Council requirements for at least one post-primary curricular subject. Subject declaration forms are assessed by the Teaching Council after students have registered on the programme, and the Teaching Council will confirm eligibility to register as a teacher and which curricular subjects will be recorded on the Register of Teachers following successful completion of the PME. The outcome of the Teaching Council assessment could also potentially identify credit shortfalls that exist in a subject and confirm the areas of study that need to be completed to meet the Teaching Council registration requirements. One tip to give to potential applicants is that if you're unsure if your undergraduate degree or equivalent meets these requirements, please check with the institution where you've completed your degree. In terms then of the application process, applicants apply through the DCU student application portal, which is available on the website, and the course code there is DC905. The slide on display at the moment details the key dates to pay attention to, and you'll see that applications have already opened on the 3rd of November and will remain open up until the 9th of February 2026. In terms of offers, they're generally made during the course of March or April of each academic year. And if you receive an offer of a place on the programme and are a student in the final year of perhaps your undergraduate degree, the closing date of receipt of final year certified transcripts is the 13th of July, 2026. Staying with the application process, it's important to note that in terms of the different supporting documentation that is required, and they're on screen at the moment. So they include the PME additional questionnaire, which is completed through the application portal, and asks students questions in relation to their subject specialism, their degree results, additional qualifications, and professional experience. There's also the Teaching Council subject declaration forms, which I've already spoken to, the school placement form, which placement must be sourced for the first year of the programme, references, which are completed through the application portal and are only required if applicants are claiming work experience for points purposes, and also transcripts of academic results, and all applicants must upload transcripts for all completed years of study to the application portal. And again, if the applicant is still completing their undergraduate degree, final year transcripts, as I said earlier, must be uploaded by the 13th of July 2026. And applicants also need a copy of a valid passport. For full details, and strongly encourage you to read them very carefully on the application process, please visit the DCU PME programme pages. So moving on then to how applications are assessed, and they're assessed by the DCU admissions team through a scoring system. So before talking about that scoring system, the basic requirement for entry is an eligible Level A primary degree with a minimum of 2.2 on the National Framework of Qualifications or its equivalent. And points are awarded for academic performance in an eligible Level A primary degree or equivalent. And again, those who are in the final year have not yet completed their degree at the time of applying will be evaluated on the examination results of the most recently completed academic year and should fill in the previous year's percentage marks, and that occurs in the PME additional questionnaire. Points are also allocated for additional qualifications, if any, and also for relevant professional experience, if any. For further and full information on the scoring system, please visit the DCU PME programme pages, and the link is on screen there for your convenience. Finally, and for further information, as I said earlier, the DCU programme pages are your primary port of call and contain all of the information and FAQs on the application process. If you have any general queries related to the programme, you can contact the IOE, the Institute of Education Help Desk, and their details are now on screen. And if you have queries in relation to the application process, there's an email relevant to that on screen also. Please include the programme code DC905 in the subject line of the email. So that concludes our presentation on the DCU PME programme, and thank you for taking the time to listen.